Bloodline stories. On Monday night, we had the Usos against the Brawns. Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. It was a tornado tag team match that the Usos won after Roman Reigns returned. Again. And he provided the assist. And then after the match was over, Roman and Jay, they were locked in, man. They were on the same page, and Roman is just encouraging Jay, this new angrier, more selfish version of Jey Uso, looking out for himself and his family and nobody else. And you see Jimmy in the background just giving them both a look like he didn't like what he was seeing here. He didn't like Roman's influence over his brother. So the Bloodline story is starting all over again. And no matter what happens with the Timu Bloodline on SmackDown, it will never resonate in the way that this version of the Bloodline has, not just because these characters have been on TV for a lot longer than Solo, Sikoa, and the MFTs have, but because these characters are more fleshed out. And they've taken the time over these last few years to legitimize each member. Each member has a story. Each member has been, spotlighted and put over in some way. Roman and Jay and Jimmy and Sammy, Paul Heyman, they put the work in. They've done none of that with the MFTs. We know nothing about JC Mateo. We know nothing about Tonga Loa. He came back from that injury. He was gone for months. I don't think we've heard a word out of the man's mouth. Same with Tala Tonga, outside of I love you, Solo. That's about it. They ran a vignette with those guys on SmackDown on Friday with Solo and Tonga and Tala and JC. And Solo saying, there's one piece missing to make them complete. He's teasing basically a Tama Tonga return. And it's like, who cares? Why is Tama Tonga the missing piece? Why should anybody care? We know nothing about the man other than he goes around making funny noises. That's it. That's what we know about Tama Tonga. That's the difference between these two groups. No matter how many times they go back to that well with these guys in the OG bloodline, there's enough story there left to tell, where they could at least make it compelling. Can't do that with the MFTs. So Roman Reigns is being promoted for Raw tomorrow night, which is back at 8 p.m., by the way. Be aware of that. 8 p.m. this week, 8 a.m. next week. So we'll know then what the match is going to be for Crown Jewel. Now, I had assumed when Raw went off the air Monday night that it was going to be Roman Reigns against Braun Breaker, since Roman already beat Bronson Reed and he was attacking Braun Breaker rather with a chair on Monday. It could be a tag team match, though. Maybe Roman and Jay, if Jimmy wants no part of what they're planning. Roman and Jay against the Brawns. Because they probably want to give Bronson Reed a match, on the big Australia show. The last one they did in Perth, Reed had to miss it because his wife was about to give birth. That was Elimination Chamber last year, so I'm sure he'll be wrestling on the show. But let's say that's the match. I'm going with the Vision for the win. May as well throw out predictions here because this is the last chance I'm going to have before the show. If they do this match, I'm going with the Vision for the win. I think the Vision is going to be leading one of the teams in that War Games match, and I think that they're going to want to keep them as strong as they can heading into Survivor Series. So that would make 5 matches if they add that one to the show, because right now they only have 4 confirmed. Damian Priest against Aleister Black in a last man standing match. That was confirmed for SmackDown this Friday. They're going to do another Sami Zayn U.S. title open challenge on SmackDown this Friday. So those are not on the PLE. They could add Becky Lynch against AJ Lee for the Intercontinental title. We've not seen AJ at all since WrestlePalooza. But she did tap out Becky, so at some point they have to do that match. And they did announce that CM Punk is going to be back on the show tomorrow night. So it stands to reason that where Punk goes, AJ will be there with him. I have no idea what Punk would be doing at Crown Jewel if he was wrestling on that show. Who would he be wrestling?
Pause for the facts. Susie here is shopping for a used car, but she doesn't know that nearly half of them have been in an accident. Interesting. But Carfax.com shows how accidents impact prices so you don't have to overpay. Unpause. Shop the all-new Carfax.com.
What's GovPlus? GovPlus is revolutionizing how you apply for any of these important documents. Apply in minutes with one secure online application. Your information is then auto-applied to everything from TSA PreCheck, passport, birth certificate, address change, and much more. Say goodbye to the endless paper applications, complicated websites, and hours of work. We even automatically renew and insure your documents, so replacements are a breeze. That's GovPlus.
wrestling. I don't know. Makes me think that he's there. AJ will be with him, and maybe they do set that match up. Drew McIntyre against Jacob Fatu. That could be a late addition if they wanted to do it, but the rest of the card looks like this. Rhea Ripley and Io Sky are going to take on Asuka and Kairi Sane. I've got Rhea and Io winning this one. Come on, it's Rhea in Perth. It can't go any other way. We got some bad telenovela acting with Io in that opening segment with Rhea on Monday night before Asuka and Kairi came out, and Asuka misted Io in the face, just like she did to Rhea the week before. I love Io. She's the best. At what she does, she's the best. This is not what she does. But she tried, and then later in the show, Io realized that Rhea was right about Asuka, and she said that she went to Adam Pearce to make that tag team match. So that's how the match came about. I think between this and the Roman match, if that ends up being a tag match, I can't see 2 heel wins. I don't think they want it to be that heel heavy, especially the way I think the main event's going to go. I would think they would want one babyface win, and this would be it. Maybe Kairi takes the loss, and then Asuka can mist Io again when the match is over, and they could go off and do Asuka against Io. They got a Saturday night's main event coming up on November 1st. They could do Asuka against Io on that show. We have the WWE Women's Champion, Tiffany Stratton, against the Women's World Heavyweight Champion, Stephanie Vaquer. Maybe I shouldn't. Is it the Women's World Heavyweight Championship? I guess you wouldn't say that for the women's title, would you? Would that be insulting? I guess it's the Women's World Championship, Stephanie Vaquer. For the Crown Jewel Championship. So it's champion against champion. Neither of their titles are on the line. They had a contract signing on Friday for their match, and it was the most boring contract signing in the history of wrestling.
Hello, Moto.